Okay, welcome everyone. Another beautiful day on the charts. Let me know if internet is holding up. Hopefully this time we don't have too much buffering. However, I do notice that my webcam is not working. Wait, what? Let me have a quick look here. Also, my browser is doing some funny games. Okay. If I do this, at least we have the chart. I don't know why my webcam is not here. Give me 1 second. It's not that we necessarily need it, but of course it is the norm to have it up and running. Let me actually go shortly back here to this one. Koens did live. Hell yeah. Yeah, I do lives. Even though I don't know why, but let's check. Nope. Okay. It's not there yet. Let me actually boot up the Elgato stuff here. I don't think I have too much open. Elgato camera hub. Let me open this here. And probably when I turn this on, it should work. And then we have a webcam, connected device or not. Mate, sometimes I'm like, so I'm like, you know, on the internet, I make YouTube videos and that stuff. And then my ass decides to put the wrong cable in my laptop. So, of course, if you put another cable instead of the webcam cable in the laptop, you know, it doesn't work. The camera doesn't work. So, here we are. Webcam is working. Ta-da. Yeah. If only I had to be like a professional content creator instead of having other business stuff. I don't know if I would make it. I do not know. Now, I do notice I have actually a little bit of lag here. So, and I have no idea why. It's the first time I have an incredibly strong laptop. But maybe I mean, I can't imagine I'm running too much, but I will close stuff nonetheless. And I think actually it is Google related. So now that I have a webcam, which on my screen is lagging, by the way, I'm gonna restart my browser. Just close it all. Boom. And hopefully by doing this, everything works very soon. At least my webcam is good again. So let me open everything again. Let's see. Let me open. There we go. And then we go to only few websites. I need, of course, Studio because we are live and I should still be live actually. Right? Yep. So we are still live. Am I not? Yeah. Okay. So we are still live. Cool. Sorry for the little hiccup. Sometimes this happens, sometimes this happens. And we also open my relevant economic calendar, and the LINKTREE. There we go. Woo! Oh, panic. Okay, here we are. Okay, here we are. Keyboard, yes. Shit. Here we are. I close all of my pages. I was running quite a lot of pages, not gonna lie, but the laptop should easily be able to carry everything. However, I'm not sure if my internet can. So even though the laptop doesn't have a problem with a lot of windows and all of that stuff, I think my internet might not be able to carry the load. So I think that was the problem. So now I only have the main windows open that I need open for today's stream. Welcome, everyone. Is Sayori? Yes, indeed. I do live streams regularly. Back in the day, I actually did them every day, but because we are working on a lot of projects in the background, it's more difficult from a time perspective. And, you know, in order to be efficient, I prefer to focus on the projects like the compendium and other stuff that is coming. But okay, here we are. So in today's live stream, what we're going to do is have a look at Bitcoin primarily, right? That's the first chart that we'll have a look at. I basically have like one bullish and I guess like 1/2 bearish scenarios, but one of the two still requires price to actually preferably move up. So we're going to run through my folders and then we're going to get into chatting and Q&A. I do realize that the alts are falling to no one's surprise. I can imagine we have nice moves to the downside on many alts. I posted a video on XRP yesterday. How's XRP doing? Okay, XRP, it definitely looks like it wants to take out the low at least one more time. Would be nice. Let's see here. Just missed out on touching the 886. But hey, if you haven't watched the XRP video, make sure to check it out. So definitely an area of interest down here with the red lines and the order block between 3 and 2.7. And just waiting patiently, seeing what price does here, right? And on Bitcoin, we're going to cover some Elliott Wave scenarios as well. Right? With regards to the chat, I'll make sure that after the analysis on Bitcoin, I'll come back to the chat and we'll do chat and Q&A. But you know, in the beginning of the stream, I always like to say hi shortly. So welcome everyone. I see you, Cheese Kurtish. Odin, what's up? How you doing? Kiwi, all the way from the other side of the world, New Zealand. Good night, Kiwi. Sayori, what's up? Welcome. AJ, J, Mohib, welcome, man. Frank, the Tank. Good to have you here once again, man. All is good. Okay, yeah, all is good. Yeah, I restarted my browser as well, so we good, we good. Jackson, what's up? Not lagging. US crypto report in a few hours. Yeah, so we do have some news. So be aware, right? It can increase the volatility. So just now we had over here the GDP growth rate. Odin and probably other people in the chat know what this means. I just know potential volatility at 2:30 p.m. today, which was 10 minutes ago. And then we have some more high impact news tonight, which is Fed related. So I don't like watch the news or really know always what it's about and stuff. I just look in this calendar, I see a time and I'm like, okay, you know, might increase the volatility. Better make sure that whatever you got going on the chart, you managed it well, right? So yeah. Welcome, Buckstone is. Good to have you back again. Another live stream. And here you are once again. Patrick from Spain. Good to have you here, Patrick. How are you doing? How's the wife and the 2 kids? You good? You good? You good? Do you actually, Patrick, have an exit plan as well? Or like just like lifelong hodl? BG Man, welcome. Sam, how you doing? How you doing? Sam from Austria. Always on his bike, as you will see in the sports channel in Discord. Malon, welcome. Welcome, welcome. It's been a while, Malon. Good to have you here, eh? Good to see your name again. So, yeah, let's start. My Discord name, please let me in. Oh, in case you cannot enter, if one of the mods might want to check the ban list for this one here, Adventurous Hummingbird, just because we have scam protection. So if you have a brand new account, younger than 24 hours, you can't join Discord. You will be auto-banned just for the sake of protection. So we have to manually unban. Baris, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Happy to hear, by the way, recently that you enjoy Blowfin. So do I. It's a really good platform, very innovative. Good morning, Agent J. What's up? What's up? Okay, Ricardo. Crypto falling today because of the news. I mean, news to me is not a reason price moves up or down. Like everyone has their own style. So a fundamental analyst will say it's because of news. A technical analyst just follows the technicals. I'm not a fundamental guy, but I do respect a fundamental analyst, right? So in my case, I just follow the chart, and up or down, for me, it's just all buying and selling. And whatever is the reason people buy or sell or whatever is to me is not relevant. I just need Elliott Wave probabilities, and then find good levels of entry, and that's all really. So I don't really follow the news. I just want to know what time it is so I can keep in mind potential volatility. Two negative positive is going to calm down those fears. Okay. Interesting. Thanks, Agent J. From Texas, Kurt the worst. Welcome from America, Texas. Howdy. Cycling in France. Hey, good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, I'll be back to chat in a second, right? We're going to analyze the chart. So let's start with Bitcoin. Now, first of all, let me just put the levels on. I have a few on anyway. So these are support and resistance levels I observe. On the chart, this low was made on a daily naked point of control, right? One of the blue levels, which was positioned here. As it was touched and acted as support, I removed it from my chart. Now, locally, this one, you might think, it's touched, and yeah, okay, it is. You know, it missed out by $10. But I still have it on my chart because it did not officially get touched on my chart. And then to the upside, you can see the levels. Now, the volume levels to me are generally most interesting, as well as this order block, which is 113K, pretty much, right? And then, locally, if you lose the daily naked point of control, this is just basic support resistance stuff, right? Like if you do lose the daily naked point of control, you retest it. I have like a 1 hour order block at 115, 116K, but that's it. Right, so if that doesn't hold, I'm definitely looking for 113. Now, from an Elliott Wave point of view, I like to make things again very simple. To begin with, hopefully for the ones that have been watching the videos recently, compared to some of the older videos, hopefully you enjoy me explaining in a very simple way in the beginning of the video what we're looking for. So instead of jumping straight into the technicals and all the detail of Elliott waves, in the videos, I try in the beginning to explain, okay, this is what we're looking for without all of the theory and the details and ABC 1, 2, 3, all that stuff. Just very simply, we're looking for a retracement. Is it 3 or 5? We'll have to observe that sort of stuff, right? When price was ranging here, we said we either want a 5-wave move to the upside, 3-wave retracement opportunity, or a 5-wave move down into the daily naked point of control opportunity. That's the one we got, traded it to the upside, right? Very simplistic, and after that I explained the details. I did the same when price, of course, was here, looking for a retracement, keep an eye for wave 2, we won, etc. So very simplistic, right, to start the live stream and the analysis. We are still bullish on the higher time frames. Higher time frames being 4 hour plus, basically. So the probabilities are higher that this range here is corrective from an Elliott Wave point of view. Those probabilities have not changed. The probabilities remain higher to sooner or later take out that high. Unrelated to all of the details that we see and all of the intricacies from an Elliott Wave point of view in the very low time frames, right? You can count things in a different way, etc., etc. And of course, I will jump into the detail in a second. But very simply speaking, the probabilities are higher to still take out the high because the probabilities are higher. This is corrective, which means that from an Elliott Wave knowledge point of view, you are looking for continuation of the trend that started the range. Right? Now, the reason why is because this move down and this sideways range, right, are very different in time. The range is about 10 times longer than the move to the downside, which is important for the bears, because what bears are looking for, right? Bears are looking for much more downside, right? They want to count this move down. Now we go into a little bit of detail. They want to count this as a wave 1. This is a wave 2. This is a flat A, B, C. All right, so a 3-wave corrective structure. And then they're looking for price to continue down in a wave 3. Not a wave C. Wave C is bullish. Wave C, you turn around. Right? They are looking for a wave 3. However, the fact that wave 2 is so incredibly long in time, you can take a fib time, this tool over here, trend-based fib time, from the start, the all-time high, to the low of wave 1, and you double click here, and then you just quickly change this to 10. Then you can see, if I shortly remove everything again, this range is 10 times the size of that move down. And that is not what you like to see. That really reduces the probabilities for a impulse to the downside. And the impulse is a wave 1, wave 2, 3, 4, 5, to much lower prices. Time is not an invalidation. Right? It's not an invalidation, but it has an impact on the probabilities. And a wave 2 being 10 times longer than 1, it's not what we like to see. It would be incredibly rare. It would be incredibly rare. So that supports bullish probabilities, right? And you don't even need to know in detail what's happening here. The only thing you got to really analyze is this range corrective or is it motive, right? An impulse or a diagonal. Impulse, as mentioned, low probabilities. A diagonal would be, do I have it here? No. I don't think I have it in my chart. This is old stuff, right? Yeah. A diagonal would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're looking for a wave 5. That would be your contracting diagonal. Right? An expanding diagonal is very rare. And the invalidation for an expanding diagonal is just above here, which is currently sitting at about 119.7K. So if you move up, you invalidate a diagonal as well. But the reason a diagonal has lower probabilities is actually, once again, time. You take a fib time, right? So you have your wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're looking for 5. But then your wave 3 in time is about 6 times the size of your wave 1 in time, right? And what is important in Elliott waves is ratio, right? The ratio between the waves. You want things to be relatively equal, right? Equality is important. Does it have the right look is what they write in the book. They write about it. Does it have the right look? Well, a wave 3 that is about 6 times longer than a wave 1 doesn't really have the right look. It looks better as, for example, a 3-wave structure that is finished, right? Which again would be bullish, not bearish. Because if we cannot count a high probability motive wave, either being an impulse to the downside or a diagonal, probabilities are automatically higher. You're looking at a corrective structure, which therefore means that from a trading point of view, longs will have a higher probability of playing out. Right? They are preferred. The directional bias is towards the upside. And then, of course, it's up to the trader to find your areas of interest to eventually join such a trend. Right? Now, if we then jump into a little bit of detail with a focus on more bullish scenarios as explained, right? All of those actually are. But first of all, your most bullish one is that you have a finished 3-wave corrective structure, wave 1. Now, as per the previous video, you want a corrective structure to finish after this line, right? Now, we can finish a corrective structure here, which, because of the last move looking like a 3-wave, would need to be a WXY, a double zigzag. With then a diagonal wave 1, you're looking for wave 2, and then for price to continue. That would be a finished wave 2 here. And then the invalidation is this low at 116,900. Another bullish scenario, and we'll get into the lower time frames in a second. But another one is having a running flat, A, B, C. 5, 3, 5. However, this move down, and now we get to the nitty gritty, I suppose. The move to the downside from the high at 119.9K, this move here, as you can see, has a lot of overlap, right? We cannot count an impulse to the downside here. I actually have seen online some people counting a motive wave, like not like a motive wave, but an impulse to the downside. So wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the problem then is your wave 3, right? Because of all the overlap here. There's not a great high probability wave 3 because there's overlap between your 1s and your 4s all the time, which is an invalidation of an impulse, and wave 3 has to be an impulse unless it's a diagonal. Now, if we talk about a diagonal here, we can count one, which would be most probable an expanding diagonal, which can work according to the guidelines and the rules. You can fit a diagonal in this move to the downside, which then would be expanding, not contracting. And an expanding diagonal is rare. It's just the way it is. It's as per written in the book, Elliott Wave principle. But it is a structure, and it is one that we, of course, at least keep in mind. But that would require price to take out this low. So bulls, right, want price to move up and take out this high here currently that was recently formed at 118.5K. Reason being that your bearish scenario, of course, bearish, this would be an ABC still, with this 5-wave motive being then wave C, and after C you actually look for price to move back up. In this particular case, you have an expanding diagonal in your wave 1, running flat in your wave 2, and you look for continuation in wave 3. An expanding diagonal, I can't really give it the highest probabilities, right? It's usually something that is remaining, and once everything else fails, an expanding diagonal becomes your last resort. But the expanding diagonal is then also followed up by a running flat. And a running flat by itself is also one of the rarest flat structures, right? You have an expanding flat, most common, regular flat, running flat. That's like the order of flats. Also, like I'm throwing a lot of theory here, but people that like to learn will enjoy this. After a diagonal, you preferably have a deep retracement, most commonly a zigzag family structure. Of course, a flat absolutely works, right? Starting here with a zigzag up, zigzag down, and then a diagonal here to the upside. So sure, in theory, right, this works. We have an expanding diagonal in a 1, running flat in a 2. The probabilities, it's a little bit tricky, but still, you want to take out this low. This is the invalidation. And that's an important level, 118.5K pretty much. Right? If price can take out this high, preferably, of course, before it takes out this low, that would be positive for the bulls. Right? If you take out this low first, then we have to be aware for bulls of a wave A, B, wave C moves back up. The bears are not looking for a wave C. They like to see a continuation in a wave 3, then a wave 4, and eventually a wave 5. Wave 5 preferably ends at 113K. I drew it a little bit below, but preferably your wave 5 ends on the order block. Right. Now, how can you spot what's what? If price would move to the downside in a motive wave for a wave C, right? You want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is when you know a structure is ending. As long as price moves down and volume is coming in, you're looking at a sub-wave 3. You want to wait for the wave 4 and the wave 5. That's exactly how I personally traded this move down as well. As per the previous video that I posted about Bitcoin, when price was ranging here, we were looking for a motive wave up or down and then trade the opportunity that comes after. We had a daily naked point of control here, just for the sake of explaining how I trade, at least with this particular setup. So we have a move to the downside, right? We have a 1, 2, 3. Price comes down to support. Mind you, we had like a daily naked point of control somewhere here. You can see it in the video. I don't know the exact level anymore. Price comes down. Look at the volume. Peak volume is here. I don't want to long this because I don't know if this is just going to tank. What I want to see is at least a sideways range to create a wave 4, right? So we have a wave 2. We want to see a wave 4 of preferably similar size or longer. And then another move to the downside to take out the low on a lower amount of volume. And then we're looking for wave 5s, right? So we wait here, we wait. Also when price wicked this low, I actually didn't enter yet because for me, time-wise, it did not make sense yet compared to wave 2. And then price took the low again, and that is the moment I got interested myself to get the long. And then we had another low on a lower amount of volume after a range similar in size of wave 2. Very nice. If price would have just kept moving to the downside on volume increasing, or we didn't see a range like this, I would have not entered any long position. I would have just waited till the moment we get that range, one more low on lower volume. Because I know with Elliott Waves, I want to see a bit of a, as I explained in some videos, a grinding structure down on lower volume. I explained this methodology and this way of trading Elliott Waves in detail in the educational content playlist, and then this one here, simplest way to use and trade Elliott Waves. I can recommend it. I see that other YouTube channels as well, and that's the goal, of course, of creating content, is that people learn. And I can see that other analysts have a or in their content, in their mainly streams, explain my methodology on how I approach it, and I got it from that video. I can clearly see it, and one of them is Daywalt, and Daywalt is a YouTuber, Elliott Wave analyst. He learned a lot here. He was one of the members in Gold learning Elliott Waves, and if you go to his live stream, it's almost like you hear Koen 2.0 because he learned all about my methodology and how I approach things. So you will see it a lot in other YouTubers that have a similar style nowadays because they learned it. So yeah, that's a nice one. Now price is ranging here, and as mentioned, bulls, right? If we have a finished wave 2, we want price to take out the high. Unfinished wave 2 or bearish scenario, take the low first. I mean, it's at the moment it's as simple as that. Right, so if you take out this low first, then yeah, you gotta wait for. We look for a motive wave to end, either a wave C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C ends and up, or you get a bigger move down, which is also C, and then up later. Because the probabilities on the 4-hour time frame, right? Even though we're doing the nitty gritty 1 hour, 15-minute time frame stuff, don't forget about the higher time frame is bullish, right? Probabilities are highest for the bulls. We're just dissecting this range in a bit of detail to know, okay, like when do probabilities change in favor of the bulls or in favor of the bears, as you know, that might help me with entering a position or trade management and that sort of stuff. Of course, we have some news later today as well. We already had a little bit, but at 8 p.m., 8:30 p.m., we get some more, so we can definitely see some volatility. But that is basically it. And then finally, I do have a diagonal here. This is not my highest probability scenario. I just have it in my folders. But in this particular case here, this would be 1, 2, 3, get 4, and 5. Now, in that case, this is not counted as a diagonal because that's not allowed in wave 4 of a bigger diagonal. This has to be a zigzag family structure. But then I would need to go to a 5-minute, 15-minute time frame and try to count this mess to the upside, and I don't have any interest in doing that, right? So if price would move towards the upside and take out this high, it's very likely you're going to invalidate this diagonal anyway. If you take out this low, then at least we have to be aware. But I mean, it's not. I don't know. I just have it in my folders as more like a just in case type of scenario. And yeah, that's basically it. So to summarize, I suppose, on a 4-hour time frame, the probabilities remain highest that this is corrective, increasing the probabilities for price to move up at a later stage and take out the high. continue the trend, basically, as you move up with a impulsive move to the upside. Corrective range after increases probabilities to move up later and take out the high. So that is without all of the nitty-gritty and detailed Elliott Wave stuff. And then for the bulls, finish 3-wave structure. Count this as wave 1 or wave A. Yeah. Correction, that you're either 2 or B. Invalidation is this low, 1 price to move towards the upside. Wave 3, wave C, lol. Locally, on the lower time frame, if wave 2 or B is finished, we want to see price take out this high at a 118.5K. And it would be even better if we can take this one here as well. And I can keep going with this. It would be even better if you touch the 886 at 119.5. And then, of course, you take out that high. So and that's then your target. The bears, if they want to at least keep the door open for lower prices, they preferably take out this low first. You do not want to see this high taken. Right? Preferably not seeing this one taken. Preferably you take that low first. And then there is at least the potential of a 5-wave C, which can still be the end of a 2B, right? Just depends on on when C ends. And that's what I explained. Same here. You just got to wait for 4 5s. You can also get a bigger move and then C ends down here. Right? There's no need to try and snipe a high or a low. Just got to be patient. I didn't snipe anything here. I was just waiting for wave 4s and wave 5s. The moment I saw 4, I waited for 5. And then with Elliott Wave knowledge, on top of support, I know how to approach it. So we just gotta be patient. I'm not in that trade anymore, by the way. Just transparency. I'm just waiting now. Also, it's a heavy news day, so I'm not sure if I would enter anything today. So yeah, is there anything else? No, I don't really think so. So higher time frame, probability is higher for the bulls. Locally, bulls want to see this high taken. Bears want to see this one, the low. Yeah, we'll wait. I might go live again tonight, maybe at 8:30 p.m. because we do have high impact news with the Fed stuff, and I've been reading in Bitcoin Thea in Discord that it's apparently quite important stuff. So yeah, I might see what's up, but don't pin me on it. I don't know. It depends if the chart shows any interesting stuff in the meantime. So yes, Alex. So I just happened to see Lauri, by the way. Welcome. Also from the other side of the world, and someone that once told us, chat, and the community about a great indicator in Tradingview, TPO, which eventually was, I think it's now only for pro members or something. So if wave 2, right, specifically, that's the question, if that's your wave 1, and you're looking for a deeper wave 2, you want to count this as a wave A, B, you want to see a wave C to the downside, right? Or you get a W, you get an X, and then a wave Y. And because W is a zigzag, you want wave Y to be a flat structure, but you're still taking out this high first. That's the important one. It's about taking that high first for the bulls. Of course, Y can also be a triangle. Right? And then the only support I have below the daily naked point of control at 116,890 is this 1 hour order block that you can see here. It's the red candle that we had during the move towards the upside. This one. That is an order block. So yeah. Those are the levels that I would keep in mind. Okay. I will shortly write that. Whoa, by the way, maybe Ben, don't forget to smash the like button for Koen. What's up, man? Maybe a band-aid. Jason, put the money in your in your renovations, man. Mr. Mod. Elliott Wave. Wait, let's do BTC Elliott Wave analysis. I think we started at like 17 minutes or something. Chatting and Q&A. We'll probably have a look at some alt charts as well. Wait, where did my message go? If I pin it, is it still there? Yep, okay. Interesting. Okay. So let's see what happened in the meantime before we analyze some charts. We're going to Dubai in September to set things up. Ah, you're going to move to Dubai, eh? September, that's a good period to be there. It's not too warm. Cheers, Joshi, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for being here and writing your message. Legendario, welcome. Cheers, Sayori. And welcome as well, Sayori. Welcome to a live stream. I always enjoy talking to people, and many of the names that you see here, by the way, Sayori, are people that are here regularly, but it's always nice to see some new ones pop in as well. Baldy Air, welcome. Yeah, cheers to Daywald. So Daywald was actually a member of mine, my educational stuff. In the first year, the memberships were there. And he learned everything that I was teaching at the time. And then eventually he started his own YouTube channel. It's almost like sometimes I'm mainly a lurker, if anything, and then it's almost like I hear myself speak, which has like positives and negatives. It can be weird at times. It's like I make a video about if a range is corrective, probabilities are high to continue the trend, and then you hear, of course, the exact same things there. And of course, it's taught. I mean, it's good people implement, teachings. But it's interesting. Lupo Hardens, welcome. Legendario. Any chance you could have a look at ETH? Yeah. We can have a look at ETH. So, Ethereum. So, actually, like Ethereum, the last analysis I did on ETH was 11 days ago in the 30 most requested alts analyzed video. Live stream, actually. It was 4 hours in length. Then I did a video here 2 months ago and a video 3 months ago. So that was about the bottom, which was correct. Then we were about talking about is a low in on ETH, and we look for a wave 1, 2. You might be able to see the thumbnail. So we were looking for our wave 1 and 2, which we then got soon after. And now we're, of course, working on the bigger move to the upside, counted then as wave 3. But let's see what I have here. Can I show you the WXY? So here you go. So this is what we were looking for, sideways WXY. And ending on one of the boxes, I had 2 boxes, 2 levels, and this one hold, or was holding. Holding. And now we have the move to the upside. So, yeah, let me have a quick look. If we take a fib here just to exclude a flat, that doesn't work. So your bearish scenario becomes counting this as a wave A, B, and then a wave C, right? You always need a bearish scenario. So that is your bearish option. And then A, B, C would have to be part of, and this is what I don't like about the bearish scenario, it would need to be part of a wave A, B, C, D, E triangle type of thing, or a triple, like a double 3, which is incredibly rare. In a triangle, B is complex, which by itself would be let me remove this for the sake of clarity here for a second. So if this would be a triangle in a wave A, B, C, there's a few things wrong in my opinion here. First of all, wave B is the complex structure, internally a WXY, which is incredibly rare for Bs. Most commonly, as per the Elliott Wave Principle book, it would be wave C. If not C, then wave D. B is not even mentioned, I believe. So not great. And then also in wave C, this high was higher than that one, which is not allowed because wave C has to be a zigzag 535. Besides the fact I cannot count this as a good 5. This would need to be a 535, but your 3 went above the origin of your 5, your A, right? A, B, C internally, which doesn't work. And having a WXY in B and then WXY in a double zigzag in C where X moves above W also is not allowed. It's just not allowed. It's just the theory. You cannot have a triangle where B or X moves above the origin of A in a subwave count. It's just not allowed. It's an invalidation. So the moment it wicks, and sometimes people say, oh, but you know, it's crypto, it's volatile, it's just a wick. It's the rules. So it's just low probabilities that a triangle works. And if anything, right, I would, in a bearish scenario, I would have to count this then as a wave W, wave X, wave Y, wave X, wave Z. And because wave W is a zigzag, wave Z is only allowed to be a flat or a triangle. This is the highest probability Elliott wave scenario for the bears. There's no confirmation, by the way, that this is the highest overall probability, because at the moment, the bulls have a higher probability. There's no weakness. There's no indication this is an ABC to the upside, which you want to see in a wave X, right? But if you do move back to the downside, right, you're going to move back inside this range here and change the structure. Yeah, then I'll be looking to add another X and add a Y. But a triple, right, so a double 3, W, X, Y, X, Z, it's incredibly rare to see these in real life. It would be very special. If this would happen, I will probably never forget it, because I cannot recall counting a triple 3, especially on such a high time frame, ever so far. And it's written in the book as well. It's incredibly rare. So can't give it the highest probabilities, but I disagree with people trying to count a triangle here. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And then I would go into a triple 3. So yeah. Or you need to have A, B, C, D, E. But I mean, then B is super long, C is very short, ratio is off. Nah, man, just get that triangle out of here. Now, with regards then to the bulls, let's focus on the bulls instead. So we can see our wave 2, right? Couple of wave 1-2s of a lower degree. So we have a 1-2 in blue, and then over here you have again 1-2, 1-2, maybe another 1-2, a couple of 1-2s, sharp move to the upside. You're looking for at least a couple of 4-5s. After your 4-5s, you finish your wave 3. You're looking for a larger, corrective structure in a wave 4, at least similar in size compared to 2. Now, because wave 2 is short in time, right, very short in time compared to your wave 1, one has to be aware that this wave 4 might take a while. Just the guideline of alternation tells us that if wave 2 is short in time, deep and simple, wave 4 has a higher probability of being long in time, complex, and shallow. I'm actually wondering, how deep did 2, was that a 382? Let me have a look here. Yeah, 382. 382 is a target for 2, so that's fine. That's fine. For wave 4, we at some point would like to see, you know, a 382, 236, but preferably your wave 3 is not yet finished. You're working on a couple of 4-5s as displayed here, moving into some resistance higher, and then these fibs will move up as well. Now you can see that the 236, 382 target might line up with some of my horizontal levels. I also have an alarm here, just above the first weekly point of control, the first red line. So this is what I'm keeping an eye on here on Ethereum. Oh. Let me check something else. And most bullish would be a double 1-2. 1-2, 1-2, 3. But it's too early. That would be like, let's just first wait. Let's first wait for this move up to end, observe the retracement, and then we'll get to the Elliott Wave scenarios. But initially, one would consider just a normal impulse to the upside. So a 5-wave structure. Wave 4s and 5s, wave 3 can extend very far. At the moment, this is quite short for a 3, I have to be honest. Wave 3 commonly moves at least to a extension target being the 1.618, and it's not even close to reaching that on a log chart, and on a linear chart, we're also not close. 4.5, that's at least a target I would like to see hit. So the fact that wave 3 at the moment is not extending, while if we look at this move, we do see the 1-2s here, the sharp move up, and we start moving sideways again, likely looking for some 4-5s, we might actually deal here with a double 1-2, get another one, another 2, this might be a sharper one, and then you continue up. And that is then going to be a wave 3. And then that is your altcoin season. Everyone talks about altcoin season. That's the big push. I mean, this is already 75% up. And since the low that we were looking for, price already moved up by 160, 170%. I don't know, like altcoin season. I mean, this is pretty big move in my book. No, so Can you end wave 1 and ETH at the first high of the range? And like this one, in that case, no, because you have 1, 2, 1, 2. You have 2 wave 2s, so you also need 2 wave 4s. And in that case, you would count this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, right? 3, quite clear we have a 3 here. And I have a 4, right? So you have a first range in 4. But the first high that takes out the end of your 3 here is this one. So that's your first 5. You get your second 4. You get your final 5. And then you get the correction. Truncations in Elliott waves are very rare, where wave 5 does not take the high of 3. So you have 1, 2, 1, 2. Probably you have another lower degree 1, 2 somewhere in here. Then you get to move up, and then you get 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. So, but it doesn't change the fact that after a 2, you're looking for a 4, but preferably 3 extends. If 3 is not extending, then you can get either a blow off top in a wave 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then get a very large wave 5, the typical blow off top. Or we got to count this as a double 1, 2 and get an extension in 3. Right? That then starts to increase in probabilities, and it's definitely something we have to keep in mind now, because this move is not as large as you want to see in a 3. So we might have to start thinking about double 1, 2 or extensions in the wave 5 for the typical blow off top. And of course, as mentioned, for the bears, I'd look for W, X, Y, X, Z, but it's very rare. So let's first focus on the bull stuff, and if that gets invalidated, then then we know where we are. By the way, a WXYXZ is still bullish, but you're just going to hang in this range for a longer period of time. So you just go sideways, and then eventually, sooner or later, you take out that high. So yeah, Maxima, yeah, but exactly, like, so I don't know, like I don't tend to really use too much of terminology, as in, for example, altcoin season. I just observe charts individually. Altcoin season would imply that every alt, from the shitter ones to the bigger ones and stuff, everything goes up by hundreds of %. It's like, it happened in the past, so it will happen again. Or it happened twice in the past, it will happen again. Yeah, maybe, but I think it's a lot better to avoid the terminology and just do an analysis on a chart, figure out if this chart has a good RR, like risk to reward ratio, and just trade that chart and then go to the next one, right? And just look at a couple of alt charts, see which ones are well positioned and work well from a risk to reward ratio perspective, and then just put a position on there if it works according to your plan. And then, yeah, maybe it's going to move hundreds of %, but what's the chance you're going to get the low of what happened with SHIB? You know, you invest $100 and you got a couple of million in return. Now, it can happen. Can happen, right? Of course. But I think it's better to try and be consistent instead of, you know, like instead of gambling, basically. Yeah. No, don't want to waste your hard-earned money. What's going on the 1 minute? So this is Bitcoin, by the way. It's just the this is my CVD chart. So when I'm on another chart on ETH, I can still observe what Bitcoin does by quickly clicking on another window. But yeah, a bit of bearish CVD, bit of bearish CVD. The analysis on Bitcoin was done before Ethereum. Let me have a look here. So can we go a little? So I answered this one. The front low was around the time Will dumped 80k Bitcoin. Yeah, I also heard. So Bitcoin tier. So Discord is like if you want to join a very active Elliott Wave community. I mean, I'm very active there myself as well. But Discord always like so much happens and a lot is discussed. And in Bitcoin TA, someone mentioned, I don't know if it was yesterday, that someone put on a 600 million options put. Now, I don't trade options, and so I don't know the ins and outs of how that works. I think it was a 5 million position with potentially a 600 million return, or it was a 600 million position. I don't know. But he went short with the goal of trading Bitcoin to below 110. I don't know, but ballsy at least, right? In my honest opinion, as long as price is not at least taking out the low at 105, and I mean preferably even 98, I'm not really interested in shorting from like a swing perspective. Let me actually put the light on. Does it? No, it's not very. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Lekker Theo. Buy a donkey. Theo from South Africa. FET. Look at it. FET. No overlap. What's going on FET? One, two, ABC. Okay, I don't have any like quote unquote low time frame, like daily and below analysis on FET. So let's have a look. Cool. If we have here 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, we have overlap here as well. So preferably those are 1, 2s, which is an impulsive move of the low. We had volume increasing in a wave 3. Of course, there is peak volume at the low, which is normal. But then as the impulse is developing, you can see in this move to the upside, sure, this one has high volume. As price moves back up, and probably people shorting have a bit of a problem here, representing the volume. But then as price moves along, we can see that you're having volume in your 3, because you would count 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You get your 3, and then 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. It makes sense to count it as a motive. 1, 2, 1. Ooh, that's a very big second. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bear ABC. Okay, yeah, the weekly is not great. So I don't want to focus on the weekly, because counting an impulse from the low here is that's tricky. If you want to count a multi 1, 2, your second wave 2 is very, very big compared to your first one. Low is the probabilities, and if you want to count a motive, then this has to be a 4 compared to this 2. Like 4 is incredibly big. Bearish would be ABC. Yeah, and then you would have a 1 2 1 2 and down because there's overlap here. So FET does not look like amazing from a very, very long-term swing trading perspective, so to say. But locally, we can at least observe, right? And maybe a local position does give a longer swing trade to much higher prices. But this can be counted as a motive, as an impulse. In a bullish scenario, that's your wave 1, bearish wave A. And then you want a corrective structure after. So this move down has to be a corrective. We go to a 4-hour time frame. Can we count an impulse here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure. We have overlap, so we cannot. So we have to consider diagonals. And in a diagonal, we would then count 1, 2, 3. Everything has to be 3 wave structures. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's have a look if that even works. Yes or no. That works. That works. And then the final, and that does not work. Wave 5 has to be shorter than wave 3 in a contracting diagonal. Wave 5 is longer than wave 3, which is invalid for the diagonal that I was looking for, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with then internally 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Valid for a diagonal. The issue is 5 is longer than 3, so that doesn't work. Now, if we cannot find a high probability diagonal here, probabilities are higher, this is corrective, you're going to be looking for price to take out that high. And what's happening here is just more, likely corrective price action. I mean, this is very, very overlapping price action. So arguably, it's still correcting, or there's a diagonal here, but yeah, diagonals are not like mega common structures. Sure, on the lower time frames you'll see them, but now we're on a 4-hour daily time frame. They lower in probabilities, they appear less. So here on FET, any other way we can get a diagonal in here? No. Let me have a thinking. This is always like when we do alts, I tend to get more quiet because I have to analyze as well. So I mean, this looks ridiculous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no way. 1 and 4, no way. 1 and 4 are not overlapping. 3 is super long compared to 1. I don't really see another way to get a high probability diagonal here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, 1. No, 1 and 4 overlap. Nope. Down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It feels a bit forced. And wave 5 is still longer. So yeah, I mean, unless you do this, but then that's your 4, that's your 2. It's in a way it feels a little bit forced. And also if this is 2 and this is 4, there is no overlap between your low of 2 and your high of 4, which is not what you want to see in a diagonal. So in other words, I think we pretty much debunked the fact that this is not a high probability diagonal to the downside. By all means, probabilities are higher. This is a corrective structure. ABC, WXY, some zigzag family structure. That's the beauty as well. We don't actually really need to know, because now your probabilities are going to be, your directional bias is going to be towards the upside on FET. Right? That's your highest probability due to the fact that the diagonal here is low probabilities. Either you don't have overlap between 4 and 2, which is not what you want to see, or actually the end of wave 1 and 4, which is what you want overlap in a diagonal. Or wave 5 is longer than 3s, which is not allowed. So yeah, and then this move to the upside, I leave it to what it is. Directional bias is to the upside and taking out that high at some point. So tuning in from Brazil, Israel, Bonfim, welcome. The country of football. Huh? The beauty of the game. Back in the day, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo. I was still playing football back then. Emmanuel, welcome. Good to have you here, man. Always love reading your comments. They're so thoughtful, man. I appreciate it. Pangu. I'll have a look, just quickly checking what's happening in chat. I mean, you talk about small leading diagonal. If wave 2 indeed bottom, which means we should break out in some hours. I mean, yeah. But, yeah. I mean, bearish is take out the low, bullish is take out the high. It's, of course, I explain it in a Bitcoin Elliott Wave analysis, but bulls, if this is the low of your 2, you're looking for a 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. Probably get another 1 then in that case. You want to see another correction in 2 before moving out. So you might actually be stuck in the range for a longer period of time. But you want to see at least a motive up, 3 wave down. That's the opportunity. And then you want to continue up. If price takes out the low, it opens the door for bears. And it's not like bearish. It's not like, oh, we go below 100K. No, you can have A, B, C move up. Got to wait for C to finish, which means internally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got to wait for 4 and 5. You can have a bigger A, B move down in C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not the highest probabilities. Expanding diagonal, running flat. Still, you got to wait for 4 and 5 to enter in a good opportunity. So yeah, bulls would be leading diagonal locally. This is your 2, and then you move up, take out this high. And if you take out this high, you can still get W, X, Y, and then move up. But because you take the high, the probabilities are higher for the bull. It's not like you can't have a little retracement. I'm a lurker, wolf and bear. Welcome. Thanks for writing something, man. I'm also actually a lurker. If I would go to live streams, also on Twitch, when I watch gaming stuff, I tend to just do other stuff and chill and listen. So welcome, wolf and bear. Thanks for writing something here. So we will have a look at Pangu. In more detail, how do you approach those big moves where we wait for a couple of 4-5? I missed 2 waiting for bigger 4-5s. The moment 4-5s start to form, right, and you're above support, every support level below the first wave 4 is a potential entry area. So we weren't looking here for this to be a wave 1, 2, and then a 3, 4, and a 5, right? We had the potential, of course, of a triangle here, which means this is the only move you get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is not a 1, 2. So the moment like price moves down, right, you have your lower degree 1, 2. You look for a wave 4 and a 5 with price slowing down. And if the first wave 4 is forming, while approaching support, which is daily naked point of control here, which wasn't touched here with wave 4, and then down below another area of support, then naturally from a trading point of view, because you're looking to end a motive wave and at least get an impulse and at least get a bit of a bounce to the upside, right? From a trading perspective, you can be more safe, position a stop loss below the lowest area of support, which would be the order block in that case, right? And then look for price to move towards the upside and follow along. And the moment price moves up and invalidates another wave 4, that can be a compounding area, right? Where you move your stop loss up to the recent low because you're not looking for another wave 4 and another 5 down. Right? Now you're looking at a finish structure. And then you compound and you look for price to, you just observe the move to the upside. Tag along. So with the 4s and 5s, right? If you know exactly how many 1-2s you have, that's tricky because they can be very small with the 4s being big. But if you know exactly the amount of 2s you have, right, you want to wait for a similar amount of 4s. Sometimes wave 2s are very clear. Oh, wait, I have a great example of this, by the way. Just popped. Pop. Where is it? This was an amazing impulse, which was, by the way, a wave C. But this is like, so of course there's a few hidden 1-2s here, but clearly you have move up, move down, move up, move down, double 1-2, you get your wave 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. You want to see wave 4s of similar size compared to the 2s. And that's exactly what we got with this move up. This is like a textbook impulse. This is easy, right? Very, very easy. We actually, if you go back to videos of like the end of July 2024, we also had resistance here, right? So from a trading perspective, after trading an impulse to the upside, right? And you start to move into 4-5s, well, we have at least a double 1-2. Now with the knowledge that we have, we are looking for at least 2 wave 4s, preferably similar in size compared to the 2s. And the moment you take the high of the second 4, you got to be aware you might be looking at the end. Which then gets you into a short area, right? Interested to go and short. Does that mean that this was expected? Absolutely not. But downside was expected. The fact it just went so far and this was a wave C is a bonus. But at least we're on the right side in that case, no? Because a minimum retracement target would be the 0.382, which was here. So the moment you break the high of the second 4, you look for price to slow down. If you have areas of resistance, which we had, it's an extra confluence for a short, then you look for price to fall to at least the 0.382 at some point. That's like a minimum target. And then you observe. Right? You might take TP, you might close the trade, you might hold on. But as price was falling here, every range, I will not forget this, every range here had bearish CVDs. There was just absorption of market longs with bigger limit short positions, dragging price to the downside. So that was interesting. Athena, I see as well. Bear market August. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not looking at the moment at a bear market. At the moment, probabilities are highest to take out the all-time high still. At least once more. And then we just observe the next range that follows. But yeah, looking for some more upside. I don't know how it happened, so I wasn't subscribed on your channel before, but can you give an opinion on... Okay, so I did, Kurtish, I did ICP in the very, very big altcoin video. I would recommend... timestamps are in here. So make sure to check this one out. So I'll try to avoid doing everything double, but I don't think we did Pangu. So Pangu was mentioned just now. Do I have it here somewhere? There we go. The 886 is touched, as we can see. So that increases the probabilities for price to take out that high. Because the 886 is rare for 2s, more common for wave Bs or Xs, increasing the probabilities that this is corrective and for price to take the highs. So that's the theory behind the 886, especially, of course, in a trending environment. You might be looking at a finished impulse, no? What do I have here? Bull. Oh, it's a little bit old, I see, but So here we were still looking for 4 back in the day, but that would be here. Then this could be your 5. But if that is a 3, it would be very, very small. So this is the same situation as ETH. Wave 3 is, in this case, longer than 1. Cool. But it's not reaching its usual extension target, being the 1.618. It did on the linear chart. It didn't on the log chart. Okay, so that's important. So at least we do have a 1.618 touch. So we have to be aware there is at least potential for 3. Now the bulls would then look for 4 and still a 5 after. Invalidation is overlap with wave 1. So this is your invalidation. Pop. And then the wave 4 of a lower degree is an important area of support and tends to be a target for a higher degree wave 4 as well, in confluence with the 236. You have another order block here at the 0.382 at 0.0234782. So that would be something that the bulls like to see, another wave 4 and then another wave 5. Most bullish is another wave 1, 2, 3. But that's not the highest probabilities unless your 4 now gets invalidated. Or after another range here, you get a move up on increasing volume compared to what you had here. So price moves up and volume moves up higher than what you had here. You got to be thinking about a multi-1-2, 1-2-1-2, and then 3 starts. So yeah, retracement, important area of support. I bet there's some, I didn't update all of this, so yeah, I mean, there must be some support here, like volume, point of control of the range, important support. So at the moment here with Pangu, we have down, up, down, 886, higher probability. This is corrective. Definitely keep an eye on this range. And of course, preferably, we would like to wait for a bit of proof that this indeed stops. It's a 3-way structure. Maybe ABC, take out the low, move in this range, fill this gap, and then turn around and then confirm 3, move up, continue. Because if this is a wave 4, you want a large range, you know? Or a wave 2, it can be shorter. Not really looking at a double 1-2, like 1-2, 1-2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. This looks more like a single 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and then 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, this just makes sense, you know, if you look at the chart. So yeah, still looking for higher. Just gotta wait for the range to show itself and see what it becomes. We're also just below the I don't regard this as all-time high. This is just wicks. This to me makes more sense as an all-time high. We just missed out on taking it. So I don't know. I definitely expect it to be taken at some point. Yeah. Okay. On Link, looking for wave 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have an alarm on the weekly point of control at 16.25, as that is an area of interest. It's also between the 05 and 382, so at least keep an eye on that area there. And then we have a big area of resistance above. That could be your wave 5. So, yeah. It was quite clear this was higher probabilities corrective. Now to the upside here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. Final leg up in 5. Of course, most bullish is again double 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Just doesn't really make sense. The second wave 1 is so big compared to the first. So initially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 makes sense. And potentially a double one here, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, right? 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. But this is a big area of resistance on Link. 22 to 25. Like 100% take profit area. Possibly even just close. If you're gonna move into 4, 5s, right? Into resistance, I mean you're looking for a retracement. 100%. And you're going to be looking for at least the 0.382, which is then at 17-ish. So, up. Weekly bull. Weekly, yeah, so that's link. Data. Wait, why don't I have this one? Oops. Yeah, no analysis. Okay, interesting. Is this all the info we have? I don't see the dyno at the bottom of my screen, so there must be a chart with more, right? Okay, a little bit more, but is that all? Okay. Okay. Well, okay. We go to this chart then. So I will record this as the all-time low then. And sure, we have a quick move to the upside. Gotta go to the daily. One second here. Yeah. It's definitely not a nice looking impulse. Because if you really want to count this as an impulse, then your multi 1-2 is here, and this is 4-5, 4-5, 4-5. So you have basically like this is your 1-2s, that's your 3, and this is where your 4-5 start. Now your wave 5s can of course extend, but it's not a nice impulse. It would have been nicer if you have 1-2, 1-2, 3, 4-5, 4-5, but we never got the final 4-5. So in order to count this in a bullish way, you need your 1-2s here, and this is 4-4-4, 5-5-5. Triple 1-2, triple 4-5. It's the only way really to count it. Now we get to the retracement. Is this motive or is this a corrective? Now we do have a gap here, which is something you do like to see when considering impulsive structures to the downside. So you have a bit of a mess. Quick move down, bit of a mess again. So there's definitely then potential of counting an impulse without counting everything in detail. In that case, we would have a 4-5, 4-5. Which one of these lows is the low? It's the gray one. So possibly then another 4, 5, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 4s and 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's expanding. 1. I mean, either like this, and this. I would need to go in detail, but these highs can all be potential 2s. This can be a running flat. They have another 1, 2. So there's definitely a chance of counting an impulse down, which doesn't give great trust in like I would wait for a lot more information before this gets interesting. You are at support, which is the previous range, which is always important. The previous ranges, this one, excess support, this one, excess support, this one is next. Move to the upside, very clear 3. Sure, you have an 886 here. You touched, I think, the 886. However, if this is potentially motive, this can also be... wait, I might count a flat here. Did it touch the 0.9? It just hit me. No, it missed out. Okay, no flat. Yeah. I don't know. It just it's not look. Some alts are very clear, and you know this is not one that I. Yeah, this can be counted as a motive, cool, but this can also be counted as an impulse, and you're then looking for basically wave A, wave B, wave C into lower support, and then you move up. In a bullish scenario, in a bearish scenario, it just goes to zero basically. It's already at 0.81, but you just go to new lows. It's just a higher risk one. So yeah. Locally, of course, we touched the 886, but let's at least see if price moved up to the 382. It didn't. So I would look for at least a bit more upside locally. I don't have any support and resistances on my chart. Right, we have a double bottom here now. Very clear three-wave structure, which means probabilities, are low for, of course, this to be the beginning of an impulse, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Wave 1, wave 2, 3, 4, 5, low probabilities, because this is clearly 3, up, down, up. Motive, we want to see 5. That is something that I would wait for, right? I would miss out on a move like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then trade the retracement. That's the opportunity for me. Locally though, price is moving down, but you can see that now we are creating the biggest range so far in this downtrend. So price starts to curve, right? Which means it does become interesting to start looking for longs to at least then retrace to the 382 as a minimum target of a retracement. Of course, with the potential of higher, but that would be a minimum at 1.12. So that is just, again, like just simple Elliott Wave simplified, right? As per the video. Which one is it? Not that one, not that one. Here. Simplest way to use and trade Elliott Waves. We have a mess in the beginning, right? We get a sharp move to the downside, right? And then you start messing around here again, and we go sideways. The probabilities increase to look for a turnaround and at least touch the 382. And then sure, you can take out the lows a couple of times, but you're looking at price to slow down. And then at some point turn around. I don't know. I'd be very patient with this one, to be honest. Checking. Whoops. Let me put this here. And have Bitcoin as the... When I'm checking, let me just have Bitcoin on here. Good evening, chill vibes. Welcome. The rate cuts. Did anyone else see Bonk? Looks like it's close to completing correction wave C at around 100% of wave A. Currently at support, weekly point of control. I had an alarm there as well, but we do move into it with a little bit of volume. At least volume is declining, so that's something. But yeah, we are at least some support. I have another layer of support, but that one is another 18%. So at the moment, right, down, sideways, move to the downside. If price can move up, touch the 886 at 3572, probabilities are very high to take out the high, but it requires patience and a worse entry. If we zoom out though, we just missed out on overlap, which would be an invalidation for an impulse in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't want 1 and 4 to overlap. So then the bulls would need to think about 1, 2, 1, 2 up. Let me clean up this for a second. Eight hour. Yeah. High volume in the high, eh? High volume in the high. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. It must be extended 5, if anything. Highest volume in the high. You might just have, like this could be finished. No. Of course, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. But then this wave 4 is so big compared to the 2, it doesn't make sense. So it looks better as a something finished. Yeah, we're at a 6-fib time as well. So yeah, I would prefer here counting a finished move up. And this is a new retracement, which is either 4 or 2. 4 is not allowed to overlap with this high. So you're very close to the 4 invalidation. And the other opportunity for bulls is counting a 2. We actually have an order block here as well. Oh yeah, it's in confluence with the horizontal levels. If you do get down here though, then of course a wave 4 is invalidated, which means bulls would need to look for a 2. A double 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2 up. But anyway, price is at support at the moment. Previous range. Point of control of that range. More confident in a move finished. If of course you either go to the 886 here, that would be bullish. Down, sideways, down, touch the 886. Price generally doesn't go in a straight line. You move up, move down, opportunity, continuation. Alternatively, let's see. If we want to count this as a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then your 3 is shorter than your 1, which means your wave 5 is not allowed to be longer than your 3. You don't want to move below 25 on Bonk. That would because if you do, you're going to be looking for lower prices basically. So this better holds. No. Nice double top. One second. I'm immediately thinking about a flat here, but nice. So the first thing that like came to mind is this. And that's purely because of the 3 down here. And I don't have information of a 2. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But then wave 5 would be truncated. So never mind, this is a lower high, which is fine for flat because it touched the 0.9, taken from the high to the low. You toggle on the 0.9, which is touched for a regular flat. And then the common target for C in a regular flat is between the 1 and the 1.236. Ta-da. I guess that's your bullish scenario, no? Alternatively, you have an ABC. A, B, C zigzag ends at the same place. So, therefore, we preferably end a corrective structure at this low, which also happens to be at support. Very nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move up. Correction. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5 move up. Correction. Okay, and then what? Still correcting or not? Yeah, this is not a pretty motive wave. I think we have overlap everywhere as well. Overlap. Of course, overlap. Overlap. Yeah. Now, I rather count that corrective. So that means that corrective, still part of a corrective structure. Increases probability to take the high though, but you might have to wait for an impulse to finish. It could be a flat here. This is a zigzag family structure. Oh, and the zigzag family structure compares in time to, okay, this one is then a little bit longer, if not yet finished. Bigger correction compared to this. This one is larger in size. Time is not an invalidation though. I wouldn't really. So the thing with diagonals, right, is that according to the theory, if you get a diagonal structure that looks like a leading diagonal in the position of A or 1, the probabilities are much higher. You're working on a multi 1-2 compared to a diagonal. It's written in the book, Elliott Wave Principle. So with the knowledge that this could be a flat or a zigzag finished at support, there's definitely something to say about price here working on multi 1-2s. Now the hard invalidation is moving below this low. This low might still be part of a larger correction. You don't want to change the structure. So this is your invalidation of a multi 1-2 bullish scenario, which is the low at 0.4744. Now, keeping this in mind, of course, with solid risk management, that's still the high, still a 1 to 4 RR. And anyone that wants to survive in this market knows that you should only risk 1%, max to 0.5. If it's a meme coin, 0.25 or whatever, right? Of your portfolio size, and not go all in and hope you're going to be a millionaire tomorrow or a billionaire or whatever. So because if it's going to trigger this, then your other option is this is a diagonal. You get a 2 and you look for a 3 after. Next invalidation is this low. If you take out this low though, that would be an issue because there is nothing here. So preferably it doesn't. You take out this low, only a wick is allowed. If you close candles here, that's a problem. I mean, you probably go back to the low. There's not a lot of currently wait, where's the horizontal line that I found earlier? This low is on a 4-hour time frame where? Okay. So this is where the weekly gap starts. This is a weekly gap. So if you close a daily candle in here, right below 0.30, it's not great. It increases the probabilities to fill the weekly gap, which goes all the way to down here. Now, of course, we have another range here on a daily time frame. There's no gap. No, I wouldn't really like. If price takes out this low, got to be very patient again. In that case, I would, if price takes a low, I would prefer to wait for a 5-wave structure, completely miss out because it's no problem, right? Probabilities are not on my side. Wait for a 3-wave corrective structure, right, into support. That's the opportunity, and then up. So those are the way I would approach this particular chart. I don't have this one in my coin coverage list, so I will add that one as well. I always add the ones I don't have. Nice. What's the time, by the way? 4 p.m. Yo. What's Bitcoin doing? Locally moving up a little. I mean, on a 15-minute time frame. Ooh. Did the Thea Theta mix-up happen last time as well? Thea, not Theta. Oh, what's up with that? Thea USD. Yeah, but what is Thea? I can't find it. It's Thet. What is Thea? Is it this? Then is it this? Thea. Aye. So this must be it then. Andre. Okay, so I guess this is then the requested chart. Okay, we found it. Well, this is the all-time low. This has to be an expanding diagonal, no other option. And the bulls, you know, they have. I mean, this must. I don't have volume here. I do like to use volume, to be honest, but this is clearly the highest volume move in this structure since the low. So for the bulls, you preferably, of course, have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5, which means that you don't want to touch the 618 at 0.33594. This invalidates wave 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you do touch that level, then your remaining bullish scenario is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That's all that you have left. The other scenarios would take the low again, right? This is a high risk asset as well, as you just you just recently made the all-time low, right? Start of April. And it's very wicky, this chart. So yeah, do I take this into account or not? Is this valid? Is this valid? Is that valid? It's not easy to count on such a low time frame because of the wicks, because wicks matter. Right? Wicks also include buying and selling. The question is this a scam wick or not? So it's probably super low volume, this one as well, I can imagine, like market cap. Daywalt learned from you? Yes, he learned from me. I was his teacher. That is correct. So with regards to Thea here, let's check. Is there another chart? Thea. Let's check MEXC, also wicks. Okay, so it might just really be part CoinX, also wicks. Okay. We just take the wicks into account then. 1 second. Yeah. I mean, I don't feel like I really want to be bothered with this time frame. Like, so the question is can we count a motive wave down? Impulse? No, because of the overlap. So we can't count a impulse to the downside. Then we have to consider a multi 1-2, but a multi 1-2 would require us to have a 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. But that's a 1, 2, 1, 2. This 2 is bigger than the first one by quite a stretch. Lowest probabilities. Another one, another 2. This one again is bigger than the first. So that's not great. Not great. Nah. It has a corrective feel to it. Diagonals. I mean, diagonals here doesn't work. 1, 2, 3. Unless that's 1. This one. No, doesn't work. No. This also doesn't work. So I'm not looking at, no. So diagonals don't work. For a multi 1-2 looks very ugly. And an impulse doesn't work. So probabilities do increase. This is corrective. If price can move up to the 886, it gives more confidence. 0.48983. And then, probabilities are really high to take out that high. I mean, arguably, this looks corrective, right? We can't count a high probability diagonal impulse multi 1-2. Multi 1-2 is also stretching it. You need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has to be a 1, 2, 1, 2 down. if price moves up to touch the 886, so this is the main level, touch the 886 at 0.48983, and probabilities increase to take out that high at a later stage. Even if you continue correcting, doesn't matter, the directional bias is up. And on a daily time frame, as long as you don't touch the 618, probabilities are there for a wave 4. Right? So 4, 2. If you touch the 618, your only bullish scenario left is a multi-1-2, but I wouldn't prefer it at the moment. Preferably this is a 3. Look how steep it is as well. And it's much longer in size compared to 1. So yeah, you preferably don't count it as another 1 at the moment. So yeah. Can you read my comment? Let me have a look. Feel free to re-comment the comment. Polygon. I get banned from most Twitch chats. How does that even happen? How does that even happen? Polygon. Let's put Thea in my list because I always somehow click theta. Okay, do I poly? What's the shortcut for that? Like it must be P, no? POL? Because I don't trade all of those poly. Oh. Matic. You mean Matic? Matic, right? Like Polygon with an I is not giving me Pol USDC P. Pol USDC.P. Okay. Oh, it is Matic. Okay. Then let me just do Matic. More information. Didn't we have, wait. Did Matic change their chart, or because I can't remember. Well, back in the day we had Matic in this list, but I think it eventually turned red. And then oh yeah, here, Polygon. And the old chart is gone. Holy, what's this? Okay. Let me have a look. We don't focus on the scam wick here. Okay. 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5. I mean, motive definitely not a flat. So this might actually get filled. The wick price has not taken this high yet. I don't count the wick. Okay, I don't count this. So with normal price action, price has not actually taken this wick. But this move up can definitely be counted as a motive structure. The move down, a double zigzag, up, sideways, down, sideways, down, W, X, Y. After a WXY, you want at least a 0.9 retracement back up, which I don't think we've hit yet. No, we have. We just missed out. Anyway, locally here, again, avoiding this move to the upside, this wick here. Still volume increasing in general as price accelerated. So, well, I mean, 4-hour time frame. Of course, I'm on the 8-hour now. But the question is about basically this structure. So, Elliott Wave simplified, overlap mess, quick move up, ending with a mess. Right, typical short opportunity here as per this video. I really recommend it. It's also first in the educational list, know what you should know about as a trader, but also in my Elliott Wave educational playlist. It's the same video. It's super helpful. So, of course, this is eyeballing it. We don't need to go into the greatest detail, but by now, of course, you've broken structure. So preferably you have a finished motive wave. Preferably this is not part of a higher degree 4 anymore, like 2, 4. Because now you're moving below. This would have been allowed for a 4. But you want to see continuation up. Now that price came down and again moving below these ranges. So wave 4 of a higher degree tends to retrace to the termination point of wave 4 of a lower degree, right? Which could have been that low, but no continuation. So the fact that price moves back down again increases the probability this is finished. And when we look at the structure, we would count a bunch of 1, 2s, that's your 3, bunch of 4, 5s, look for a corrective retracement to the downside. So I would agree with Mr. Redos. And then what? Okay, so we gapped here. It's a slight one, but it's still a gap that's important for a motive, right? Impulse wave. If you would count a 1, a 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. So there's at least a chance of counting a 5 here, which means after 5, you want a 3. Look at this, by the way. What's that? What is this? Anyone bothers counting that? That must be an ending diagonal, no? You don't often see this. The beauty. This must have wrecked so many people, if you are part of trading this at least. Because here you're like, what the hell? What's going on? Every move down is like, okay, I think that's the end. Every move up is like, okay, let's go. And then, nope, we go down again. Wow. Very confusing price action. W, X, Y. Yeah, I would probably approach it as a diagonal. Anyway, because there's the possibility of a 5 wave down here, we have to keep in mind an impulse, which would be wave A. Is that the end of your B? Okay, these are the same. From a time point of view, wave B ended between the 1 and 2 fib time compared to A, which is nice. That's fine. So preferably it would be the end of your wave B. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, like a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Maybe a little bit lower would be nice. Also to have equality between your A and your C. I'm going to pull a couple of fibs now just to check a few things. So this was a golden pocket retracement. I wouldn't mind filling this gap as well. Get rid of the gap that we have here. Move at least to the order block, which starts at like 21. And now, let me find the support and resistance area quick. Okay, this will be done very, very quick. Because I do not count the wick, I will put a line here, here. Yeah, and everything else it's not interesting at the moment. Monthly, not interesting. 4 hour, daily. PVP, month. See if we have some volume. Not in the area, also not as support. This is, of course, an important resistance. Let me put it on the chart. By the way, PVP is an indicator that represents volume. And the red line that I only show on my chart, these are my, by the way, PVP is a periodic volume profile. This one. And if you are interested, these are my settings. Okay. So it shows the point of control, which is the highest, like it's the area on the chart where most of the volume was traded in that particular time frame. So currently this is the monthly time frame. So I would like to then call it month M-POC. We drag it up here. There's another one. So these are resistances. But I'm more interested actually in more local support, for example. So we changed the PVP to the weekly. I'm only really interested in weekly and in monthly. I don't really care too much about the daily. And we can see that, oh, there's actually one here. There's one here. You don't want to go this low, but I still put it on my chart. And then this is what we call the confluences. Yo, Nino, welcome. Kirsten, how are you doing? That's been a long time. Last time we spoke. Kirsten back in the chat, eh? Yeah. So I would like to fill the gap at least and move to this. So this is first area of support, which starts at 21. If that fails, you have a weekly point of control. Fibs, common target for retracement after an impulse. 0.5 golden pocket. Golden pocket in confluence with the weekly point of control. Minimum target is the 382, which is touched. 0.5 in confluence with the first range at 21. So there's definitely some confluences, some interesting areas of support. I'm not too confident yet that something is finished. But I would agree that probabilities are highest to take this high. Because probabilities are highest, this is corrective. I don't care about the wick, scam wick in my book. So in my opinion, price has not yet taken out this high. Probabilities are highest to take out that high. So that's the directional bias, right? And of course, you can count this as another motive, right? And look for another corrective structure and eventually continue. But the bias is upside for that high. Once you take the high, you got to be aware of the resistances. A bit of a range here. Okay, I like to note that one as well. Volume profile. Because it is in perfect confluence with the weekly. AirPoc is a range point of control, and AirPocs come from volume profiles. If you ever see videos of mine. Okay. Of course, I'm not like a financial advisor, but I wouldn't go to a 15-minute time frame on such a chart. First of all, I would wait more here. Highest volume is now in this move to the downside, but if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your wave C is quite short compared to your wave A. Right? Question is, if you get a bigger, also still an opportunity, but I would like there's not too much going on here. And we closed a candle now in this little gap. I would like to see price move down. And if price moves down, volume decreasing. And then, areas of interest is around the 0.5 and the golden pocket. And what is actually probably more safe and could be even more interesting, it just requires a lot of patience. With many people don't really have the patience. Or they want to try and snipe the best possible entry, instead of just getting in at safe areas. If you take a fib from the high here to wherever this low is going to be formed, preferably lower, and price touches the 886, right? Then a 1212 down is very low probabilities. Usually after an 886 touch, you still get a rejection, and then this gives you an opportunity, of course, for a position. But still, I would look for the areas of support. Price moves to the downside, preferably on a decreasing amount of volume into the areas of support. And then yeah, have a look. Kirsten, thanks for your message. Yeah, she back. Yeah, thank you, Kirsten. I appreciate that. Yeah, true. I mean, I just like to share my 2 cents. You know, like trading can be very lonely. I don't know if anyone else sometimes feels like that. Of course, I have my friends, my friend groups, my family and everything. But trading and you know, my friends don't trade, my family, they don't trade. I'm the only one that has done so for a long time. And you know, I can sit on the beach and have my laptop with me and trade. But I think deciding to start a YouTube channel, and there were more reasons to start a YouTube channel, not just, you know, I wasn't thinking about trading is lonely, let's start a YouTube channel, but I saw a lot of channels making Elliott Wave mistakes, rules and guideline mistakes, which I didn't appreciate. And I saw an opportunity to teach people. So yeah, now here we are. And I gotta say, it's awesome. It's great to be able to go live. There's currently 140 people somewhere living in this world. I'm talking to a webcam, right? And you are seeing me through a phone screen, iPad screen, television, computer, you know, and we're able to communicate, share knowledge. You know, like it's awesome. It's so much fun to be part of a community, because I don't really see it as like it's my community. No, it's our community. You know, everyone is part of the community. Discord is awesome. I'm in Discord the whole day. I always have Discord open if I'm not in the gym or whatever, at least. I love it. So, yeah, it definitely made trading more enjoyable, I suppose. It's not like, you know, money. Of course, money is enjoyable. It's just, it's fun to share your knowledge with people in the same industry and have the opportunity to talk with people, discuss things, and, you know, that sort of stuff. And that happens in Discord all the time. And now on YouTube. I really love streaming because I can live chat to everyone. Wait. Close. Thank you. So, audio. I gotta go, though. In 30 minutes, I have an appointment, which is what you saw pop up behind my webcam. This does not look like a great chart. So for me, it's currently at all-time lows. I don't regard this as all-time lows here. This is like your first, always big wick candle. This is like your all-time low. I can go to a daily, see if there's maybe a range. No, it's even below the first range. Go to a 4-hour time frame. Be lucky if we find something. Oh, we can't go back that far. 6-hour then. There's like nothing, right? Nothing. So price is at all-time lows, and that immediately makes this chart not interesting. Of course, what people see is this. Right. People are like, oh shit. We retraced like 99.99% from all-time high. If only I buy here with all of my money, I can make 7,636%. Unfortunately, it's important to keep risk in mind. And risk management. Because why is this push others, you know, like what makes this one different from any of the other ones, no? So what I usually like to wait for is the first 5-wave impulse that I like to miss. SUI is a great example. So price just keeps moving down, right? Average volume seems to actually increase. Let me actually double check this. It seems to increase. Yeah, it is. Yellow line is moving up, right? So actually the volume is increasing as price is moving down, which maybe either people are actively shorting or they start to get interested. Now we do have a bit of a gap here. So if we would count this as either impulsive or an ABC, right? A, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, that would be 5. That's not great. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, maybe a final 5. But at some point, of course, you are looking to turn around. Yes, you're at 0.0626, but going to 0.240 is still a minus 61%. So we should not think in dollar value here, right? It's risk management. What I like to wait for, this is my approach. I don't see this chart as like this is a great opportunity. We're at all-time lows. We don't have a high time frame confident move to the upside, right? We don't have any proof of strength. This would be like the type of coin where if you have a few bucks to spare, you don't miss them at all. You don't look at them for years to come. Yeah, you might put it in audio, and be like, well, if I'm lucky, I'm lucky. If not, I'm not. Right? If I put $10 in this and it goes up by 7,632%, you still end up with a big amount of money. I actually, to be honest, I have no idea how much that would be, but I'm actually curious. Calculator. $10 times 7,632%. Okay. Mate, well, I should have known that. No, that can't be right. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Anyway, yeah, there is. So we have a Elliott Wave simplified. We have a grinding structure in the beginning, quick move down, and we're looking for grinding structures to end, and then price returns. So from a probability standpoint, sure, we're looking for price to get a bounce. It's just high risk. We don't have a lot of data to work with. Yes, we're on a weekly time frame, but we're at all-time lows. Preferably, I start counting after all-time lows, but I don't really have any information here, and the low time frame is very messy with all the wicks. So what I personally prefer, same with ICP, same with SUI, is completely miss the first move if you even get it ever. After that, wait for the 3-wave retracement. This is your bull market. Miss it. Maybe we'll never get it. It can also just keep going and that's it. But at least if we get a nice 5-wave up, like with SUI, which I always refer to as a great example, one waits for a 3-wave retracement. And now because of the structure to the upside, you can find nice areas of support, right? And if this is confirming itself as a corrective structure down, you're looking for price to move up and take that high. And this then becomes your high probability Elliott Wave trade, right? With then the potential of course, continuation to the upside. So it's all probabilities, but we're at all-time lows. And from a simplified Elliott Wave perspective, sure, we're looking for price to turn around, but how low will it go till the moment you do turn around? So that's why I say if you have something to spare and you really don't care, then this might be one of the things you put it in, because you don't care. You might be looking for price to turn around, but it can still dip deeper and go minus 30, 60% and whatnot. And you're like, oh, well, you're not even looking at it. And then at some point it might actually go up and then that's where it starts. Yeah. But this is not like high leverage, because high leverage, you're going to be liquidated in no time with these type of coins. It goes incredibly quick. So this is like maybe a bit, I don't know if this is a spot even possible on this one, I guess, but maybe a little bit in a spot or maybe a 1x, right? Like invalidation is so far away and you just let it go basically. If you even want to get involved, truly. Man, Bitcoin is not going anywhere, hey? It's just waiting for tonight or what? Oula. Multiple 1. I would count this as lower degree. You could have 1, 2, 1, 2, but preferably if we would think about a multi 1, 2 in Bitcoin, I like to see 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your second one. Get another 2, then up. That's a much better 1, 2. This is more bullish, right? You have a bigger one, bigger ones, bigger 2s, right? You can even create another third 1, 2, right? Even better. The bigger your 1, 2s are, right? The bigger they are, the better it is for the wave 3. You would expect a very big move in your 3. No? Similar to the low at 49. Your 1, 2s. The more 1, 2s, the bigger your 3, and then your 4, 5s still lead to price moving up. So it creates a bigger move. At the moment, if bullish, we only have 1 wave 1 and basically 1 wave 2. It's not great. You can, of course, reach all-time high with that. But, you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 normal impulse. And then you get a retracement after again. So then you start another range. Yeah, sure, you just took the all-time high and you're starting another one. If you really want to get a big explosion, you preferably get your 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then boom, and then you go. That's nice. I think we did Tau. So I really recommend to check this one out. 30 most requested alts analyzed. I think a lot of alts, let me actually click. A lot of alts were covered in here as well. So you can see the list here. In case you're interested in any alts, this is recently, high time frame. Apparently a typo here. We don't have that many subscribers. Must have been 18. Oops. We're almost there though, at 20. So many. I can't keep up. Let me have a just reading here. Reading. I see, of course, all the alts, but I will never be able to analyze everything before I have to go. Robin. BTC was analyzed earlier. Check it out. Over and over again. Yeah, and this is where a community also really helps. Like it helps. We have a psychology channel in Discord, and that's where people share stories of fuck ups, or they look for support. Like, hey, what can I do? I always make this mistake with FOMO or greed or whatever. It helps. It helps to talk. Wait 1 second. Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know if I would go in detail with. So we did link. So that's an easy, quick look. But I don't know what you mean with the overlap. The move up from April 7 had overlap. This one. Overlap. How do you count this to fit the later impulse? So the nice thing, it actually, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, maybe this is part of a correction, right? In a bigger correction. But what matters the most really is we have a 5 swing followed by a WXY corrective retracement. Corrective move down. You always look for price to take out that high. So it without knowing the exact details. Now, if we go to lower time frames, though, then if I had to pick it, I suppose we also have overlap here. We don't have overlap between these two. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But that would be for 1, 2, and then 5. High. This is quite a large range. We have overlap here. So then you need to think about expanding, if any diagonal. But then of course your 5 has to be longer than your 3, etc. But this is yeah, which it is. So you can count an expanding diagonal to the upside as well. Or you have like a 1, 2 down here, and this is the wave 4 matching the 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. I don't know. Like it's just, I don't need to know the detail in order to trade the coin, right? So we're looking at the chart now, and most important first, so that's step 1, is what's this? If you know if this is higher probability corrective or motive, right? You know what to do next. If probabilities are higher, this is corrective. You're looking for price to at some point take out that high. So we don't need to know necessarily all the details. I sometimes see it in Discord in the public group as well, right? Like, and that's what I did in the past. It's a big weakness, trying to be able to label every single wave. But it's the bias, the general bias that's important. So if we have at least a 5-wave swing here, we have overlap, maybe an expanding diagonal. Of course, we're here now. I don't know if I was at Link when this formed, probably. But analyze corrective, swing up, corrective move down. So if you're not sure about this, you just wait for the retracement. And if the retracement is corrective, especially with a WXY, W, get your X and a Y. You're looking for price to always take the high after a WXY. That's your first target. So it requires patience. Maybe someone is not involved here, waits for this, corrective, look for entries, and then continuation. Or on a lower time frame, right? Look for locally a 5-wave up here, 3-wave retracement in the range, trade long, and then maybe you can hold on, right? For a day trade that becomes a swing trade. So wait. Okay. I don't know. Wait. So it's been going sideways, BCH, for a very, very long time. That's the all-time low. Overlap here. Ending on a high amount of volume. If anything, this looks better as a corrective structure, but I preferably count from the all-time low onwards, though. Is this the all-time low? I don't know. Looks like it. Yeah, okay. One, 2, 3, 4, messy 4, final leg up in 5. So I think it's more interesting to be local here instead of looking at the highest time frame. You touch the 886 twice. Did we? No, just missed out here. You did at least touch it here. So 1212 is in like very, very low probabilities. That's good. Right. Okay. Looks like a 3. Looks like a 3. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Never got the final 4, 5. So definitely also potentially another 3. But now we're getting into triangle stuff. A, B, C, D, E. Yeah. I would not count the highest time frame here. No. Just focus on this. And locally, we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, a 5-wave structure. 5-wave swing, followed by very sideways movement, which already takes quite a while. We have an 886 touch here as well. Found support on the lower degree wave 4, which is an area of interest, always the wave 4 or the wave 2 of a lower degree. So probability is higher to take out this high at some point, but what happens after, I mean, from the all-time low here, this is not a great impulse, very 3-wavy. Go to the right, also 3-wavy. I mean, does that mean probability is higher to take the high? Not really. This is 3, this is 3. I don't really like to count triangles with something that includes an all-time low, right? So I preferably just count this structure. We have a 5-wave swing up, followed by, at the moment, a 3-wave down, touched 886. Low probabilities, this is an impulsive wave 1, and this is a wave 2. Could as well have a finished 3-waver and take out the high. So yeah, I'd be looking for price at some point take out that high, but this is not a chart that I would value highly at the moment. 5-wave up, sideways movement, look for price to take out that high at some point and take it from there, step by step. All of this is all 3-wavy. So you want to wait for the 5 waves, and there's definitely a 5 here, and it retraced to wave 4 of a lower degree, which is an area of interest. So 5, 3, 5 potential. So yeah. Okay, I have literally a few minutes left because I gotta jump into a meeting. Is this all we have on Ronin? Oh boy. Is there a chart with any more information than this? This is not tradable, guys. Like, this is don't do it to yourself. If this is all we have on Ronin, find other opportunities. This is not cool, yo. Yeah. Don't only focus on the upside, right? Focus on the risk. There's no strength here. Right? OKEX, Ronin, OKEX, Ronin. Is this? Ah, we have some more information. Well, I tried so many charts without any info. Okay, at least we have something to work with now. I mean, at least it shows my opinion about charts that do look like this. You know, if you only have this part and this would be your launch, and so far it only went down, there's no interest. It's 0. You don't know how far it would go. Here, though, the bullish scenario would be expanding a diagonal. There's no other option. Wave 5 longer than wave 3, 3 longer than 1. However, this is a lower low, so you need to start counting here, which changes things because now the move up is very much 5, 5, 3, 5. All right, at least potential 5. Can we try and get a flat in here? That would be a correction, which would be very, very long. Oops. 1.618 touched. Low probability. So preferably, this is a 3. And price took out this low. Yes, it did. Not great. So I don't know if we have any chart with more info, but this is not cool for Ronin, because this is a 3-wave. If you're really bullish, you want to start with a 5-wave, not a 3-wave. Oh yeah, Bitcoin finally moving. So here we have up, down, up. Not nice, no? You want to actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that you took out the low as well, your bullish scenario becomes a diagonal. But it's too early to really call diagonals. You would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not very nice. Now the move to the downside, though, we can at least focus on the move down as well. At the moment, also 3, right? We can also see now price is starting to move sideways. So far, this range is longer than these ones. Might be similar in size to this. Now this move down can still be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure, higher volume in 3. That's not what you want. If this becomes a 5, you can trade the 3 up. This is the trade. Support, I mean, pull a volume profile here. And we have support at 0.2564. And just in general, this range, right, a little bit of an order block can act as support. But if you get a 5 down, yeah, you're looking for a move back up, which is then supposed to be a 3-wave structure. So, of course, that is an opportunity, but you're not looking at that moment in time for price to take out the high. I mean, we checked Bitcoin in the analysis in the beginning, so nothing is changing. I already explained the probabilities and everything earlier, so make sure to check it out. Make sure to check it out. So now that price is starting to move sideways here, and this range now is longer than what we have here, and maybe similar to here, you can indeed like start looking for price to turn around. Of course, with preferably a bit of a lengthy stop loss. Trading wise, it's relatively easy because your invalidation is all-time low. This would be your entry. If it is a 3-wave structure, right, which you want for a diagonal, 3, 3, 3, you're going to look for the all-time high. If this turns into a 5, you preferably have, you should have a buffer to finish 5 above all-time low and then turn around for a 3-wave structure. And then that's the trade basically. And then look for a price to move down later. So there's an opportunity here. This being a 3 is not great for the future unless it turns into a diagonal. But you can at least trade an opportunity. When this ends in a 5, you look for a 3 up. If this ends in a 3, you can look for price to take the high. Do all impulsive? No. Only impulses with extended wave 3s. If you have an extended 1 or an extended 5, then the channels are going to be off. And also, an impulse is not does not have to be inside a channel, like all of the price action of an impulse, right? Wave 4 typically moves out of the channel that you have. And then wave 4 moves out, and then you get your wave 5. Wave 3 moves out of a base channel. Wave 4 moves out of the trend channel. So Bitcoin is moving. A bit of volatility on the chart. So now that price also took out this high here, that's good for the bulls. Very nice. Yeah. Volume. Have some volume coming in as well. So yeah, very, very neat. Now, of course, I analyzed Bitcoin earlier, so I won't go into the analysis again. Make sure to check it out. I also can't because I actually have to go because I have a meeting in 5 minutes. So I have to close the stream. I'll probably put in the timestamps later in the video with the alts that we covered as well. I didn't write any of the alts down, so it's going to be a little bit of a it's going to take a bit more time to put timestamps in, but I'll try to do it tonight. And yeah, so we covered quite some alts, covered Bitcoin, and that's that. Yeah. So, thank you, everyone. Thanks, Crystal, Sam, GTB Sleeper. Cheers, guys. And thanks, everyone, for joining. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Got some information, some teachings. Trade safe, right? It might be a volatile day. We had some news a few hours ago. Probably tonight, we're going to have some more as well with the Fed news stuff. We'll see what the chart does. Probably I'll depending on great volatility today, sure, I can provide another update, of course, tomorrow. I'm not sure if I go online tonight. Depends again on the chart because we do have news tonight with expected volatility, but we'll see. It depends on the chart if I go live or not. Otherwise, I'll probably finish watching Squid Games and hang out with my wife as well and stuff. And then tomorrow we'll see again what the chart what the chart did. So Yes, we looked at Ethereum. I don't know exactly when. I guess around minute 40, 50 in the live stream, you'll be able to see my Ethereum analysis. Somewhere there, I guess. So, yeah, cheers, everyone. Have a good day. Trade safe, and we will see each other again soon.